Greetings, beloved light warriors. It's Saratoga, and this is your weekly focus card reading for the week beginning March 22nd through March 28th, 2021. And if you're new to my channel, you should know that I do this every Sunday so that we can reset our focus and our energy for the coming week ahead. And then I do my regular on-camera videos on Tuesdays and Fridays. Okay, you guys, let's get into this week and this most beautiful card. So as you can see, the card says Door to Spirit. And yeah, this is so amazing because it's actually amazing timing. So let's see, let's just start at the beginning and go through the elements on this card. So we have a door, obviously. It looks like a very ancient door. You can see on the left side there are some very small flowers wrapped around the edge of that door, which to me signifies nature. This is a natural doorway. This is an ancient doorway, something that's always been there. And coming out of this door, we have this beautiful white dove just bringing light. And if you can see the little, it almost looks like little white feathers kind of blending into the light coming off of this dove. And that to me says that there's peace. These are messages of peace. And you could also say, if they're feathers, you could say they are angelic messages. So I feel that the card to me is like an invitation, but also a powerful message. It's sort of a combination of both. The invitation is more like, look here for your answers. Look to this door to spirit. Now let's talk about why this is so important right now and why this card is so significant. Right now, we are getting messages from all over the place. They're very confusing. I'm talking about messages from the outer world. All right, who you're listening to, what you're reading, what you're exposing yourself to. I mean, there are just so many conflicting, confusing messages. You know, it's like we're being bombarded with so much information and so many different viewpoints, and just all from the outside. We're just being so bombarded, and it's like it can be really challenging to try and figure it all out and put it all together. And what does it mean? And how do I know what's right, what's wrong, what's true, what's false? How do I know? And where do I go? And see, you can get lost in all of that. You can get lost very, very quickly, because think about this. What is your touchstone of reality in all of that? You need a touchstone of reality that you can trust 100%. And that touchstone of reality is not on the outside where all of this information is swirling around. And so this card is beckoning us and saying, no, come through this door, come to the door, through this doorway to spirit. You'll notice it's a door. It's not coming from the outside. So if it's a door, it's kind of inviting you to go within. The door within, as you probably know if you've been following me, is your heart, your divine, impeccable, beautiful, infinite heart. That is your pure, present doorway to omnipresent love, to light, to the beautiful vision of what this planet is really meant to be. That is the doorway to your actual origin. That is the doorway to source energy, to the creator, to God, whatever it is for you, whatever word you want to use. The words don't really matter. That is the only doorway, the one within you. That is the only place you can go that you know for sure is going to tap you in to that truth, to that reality. So when you hear all of these messages on the outside, that's why it's so important to look for resonance. What resonates with that inner wisdom? What resonates with that inner sanctuary? Because this is the door to your inner sanctuary. So if you feel discordant in what you're hearing, and let me just add something to what I'm saying. When we talk about resonance, we're not talking about things that resonate with the thoughts in your mind. We're not talking about things that resonate with the patterns of behavior that you have been repeating all your life. We're not talking about resonance at those levels. We're talking about, you want to think of this as being like your lighthouse of truth. So you need something that resonates at the deepest level, that you can say to yourself, this feels right. This just connects to my core. This connects with my inner being. There's something here that rings true. So that's how you can deal with all of this external information, because you're looking for inspiration. When you're hearing all this stuff on the outside, you want something that connects you to that inner wisdom, something that inspires you, something that makes you feel aligned. Now, let's go back to the image on the card for a moment. And I want to talk about this beautiful white dove that is coming through this doorway, inviting you to go within, to that beautiful inner sanctuary of peace. The white color of the light and the dove, it's like it indicates purity, it indicates peace. This is another test. If you're not feeling peace, if you're not feeling harmony, if you're not feeling something that feels natural to your being, then, maybe that's not quite the thing you're looking for. Because every one of us on this planet, because of the fact that we live in duality, because of the fact that we live in such a treacherous situation, there's something deep within every human being that is seeking, that is searching for that rightness, for that feeling of rightness. What is right? What is true? What is in alignment with what I've been looking for all my life, perhaps? What is in alignment with that? And you will know when it's alignment because it's going to match up with that feeling. Something's going to link up inside of you that says yes. A big yes, this is it. This is the track. This is the direction. So I want you to think about that, because if it's causing disharmony, if it's causing stress and fear and pain, it's probably not in alignment with that inner sanctuary of beauty and love and power. Because even though this might look like, this is just a bird, right? You can tell there's power. There is power through that door. There's the power of that truth. The fact that the bird itself represents purity, it means pure power, pure truth, pure light, pure, untainted, unadulterated truth. And that's what lives within you. And the thing that we really need to remember is that we have been conditioned all our lives to look on the outside for everything, right? And now, of course, we have the internet, which is just, the source of like all information around the world. We're just so conditioned to find everything on the outside, and we have been discouraged from trusting ourselves. We've been discouraged from trusting that inner truth. So it takes some practice. It might take some time for you to be able to discern the difference, to be able to clearly discern where your consciousness is at any given moment. Is my consciousness linking up with the external world and all of the chaos and all of the mixed messages and et cetera, et cetera? Is that where my consciousness is primarily linked up? Now, there are going to be times when it is going to be linked up there because you got stuff to do, right? But I'm just talking about in terms of your inner spiritual quest. Let's not forget that we have a spiritual quest within us. Let's not forget about that quest. Because one of the concerns that I have recently is that we're losing sight of that quest. Instead, we're trying to do the right thing. We're trying to get the right information. We're trying to say the correct things that everybody tells us we need to say, think, and do. And that's a very different approach than saying, I have a quest within me. I am looking to fulfill that quest, the purity of that quest. So the image on this card is like that dove, that spirit. You know, you can, as I said, you can call it the Great Spirit. You can call it just plain Spirit, God, Creator, Source Energy, whatever you want to call it. It's saying, come here, come back home, come back here. Remember who you are. Remember that quest that has been there since the day you were born. That quest that has been there probably through previous lifetimes. That you're still seeking, that's something that you know is true, that you know is real. And the beautiful thing about the message on this card, I think, is that a lot of times I think we can feel like, oh gee, if I go inside, I'm just going to be all alone. You know, I mean, I don't trust myself. How do I even know if there's anything there worth considering? And the message I'm getting from this card is also a reminder, when you go within, you are not alone. You will be met. You will be met by that divine source energy, by that true omnipresent love, by that universe that loves and creates your being and sustains you. You will be met. You will never be alone within yourself. So, yeah, I think that's a very simple message, but very, very powerful. So, yeah, I don't really feel a need to elaborate on that a whole lot more, other than to say, if I'm looking at this card one final time, I think we can really pay attention to what looks like those little white feathers coming off of that dove and that swirl of white light as it goes into that doorway. That those, I just feel that those represent messages from the divine, messages from the truth. Very different from internet messages, right, guys? Yeah, it's a real different world in there. And also, let's come back for a moment to what I said about the flowers on the left side of that door, representing nature. So the other thing I want to point out, that ancient doorway, it's like this ancient self, this natural self, who you are in nature. That's what you want to connect with. That is so important right now. That is your shelter, guys. That's your shelter from all the chaos. That's your divine infinite shelter that's there forever. So now is the time to take shelter in that place, to go through that doorway and listen to your heart and see what messages that infinite source of all that is wants to give you in love and in peace and in light and in beauty. Okay, so I hope this message has inspired you. I'm wishing you all a beautiful week ahead. Please, please take wonderful care of yourselves. Love yourself, honor yourself. You are a sacred being. You are a part of this earth. You are a part of this universe. And most of all, you are a part of nature itself. Okay, so I'm sending you all so much love, and I very much look forward to seeing you in the next video. Have a wonderful week, everyone. Namaste.